If you'll remember, we've been covering a story on possible UCOSA violations, and today we've got another update.
Kaylee, what do you have for us?
Thanks, guys. This marks the third week that both UCentral and the Vista have been covering a possible violation of Open Meeting and Open Records Act by UCOSA, our student government. UCOSA is funded by our student activity fees. UCO Legal Counsel is using an Attorney General opinion from the 80s to explain why UCOSA doesn't have to follow the state laws. Take a listen.
And basically the holding in this is you have to look at each and every one of these groups. You can't make just a wholesale, you can't come to a general conclusion about whether they are or whether they are not public body that's going to be subject to these two laws. Open records and open meetings both seem to key off this thing. Are they operating on public money? And they don't, they operate off of student fee money.
Although UCO Legal Counsel does not believe that UCOSA has to follow the laws at a state level, the attorneys were not aware the Student Congress's bylaws specifically state they should abide by state laws. Legal counsel Beth Kerr said that if it is in the bylaws, they should be following it.
They didn't have to put it in their bylaws and they did. That's my thought. They need to be following it.
Both Kerr and Morelli are looking over the bylaws to decide the next steps for UCOSA, but attorney Doug Dodd told UCentral and the Vista they do have to follow the state laws.
The key here is whether it's a public body, and the question of whether it's a public body really depends upon, number one, whether it's supported in whole or in part by public money, and I believe it is, because I consider student activity funds public money. In other words, student activity funds paid to the university becomes public money the minute it's paid.
And we are joined by UCOSA Senator Caleb Power, who led the charge last semester on rewriting the bylaws. He is also one of the senators who told UCentral Media that this was going on. Welcome, Caleb.
Hello.
So I know that the discussion between the attorneys kind of is in the gray area, but how has that affected Student Congress?
Well, there's actually quite a few new people this year, and so it's actually affected the Congress quite a bit. Usually whenever somebody new comes in, they expect a yes or no answer as far as what to do, and that's been a little bit of an issue as of late. And you can even see that, like in last meeting, we had a little bit of conflict between one or more of the committees and like the leadership of the Congress.
Okay. And then what are some of the improvements that congressional leadership have made?
Well, I have noticed in the past a couple of weeks that we've seen an increase in like timeliness as far as agendas being pushed out or legislation being barred from coming on if it's too late and not meeting the deadline, such and so forth.
Okay. And then what can students do?
Well, students are always welcome to come to the UCOSA meetings. They're always, usually on Mondays at 1 o'clock. The rooms sometimes change, but they're usually, the room itself is on the agenda.
Well, thank you, Caleb, for joining us, and back to you two at the desk.